All right, all right, all right. Mm, 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 mm. This is my first time doing a video like this. I felt I had to do it because I just saw some shit that's like crazy nonsense, and I really wanted to do a reaction video, but also wanted to comment on some of the shit that's going on. Shit. Um, let's get into it. You know what I'm saying? Wow. Y'all see the title right there, or right there. Oh, this is wow right here, man. I gotta get up into this shit, man. Uh, into the screen here. Alright.
Once you are done with the looting,
Alright,
go
so
to Indian areas, not
let me
missing
bring
that I'm
that back
saying
for
call
y'all
center.
because I just had to do a little fix. Like I said, don't kill me here. It's my first time doing this, so saying just give me a little, give me a run, see how I do. You know what I'm saying? That's all. I got my little got something to eat here. We'll try to enjoy it while we watch this bullshit. So everybody listen carefully and watch what's going on here. It's really wild.
Once you are done with the looting, go to Indian areas, not me saying that, I'm saying the court says that. Go to Indian communities, go there and kill Indians and burn their houses. Go to white areas, go there once you are done
Hold
with looting, go
on.
there and kill white community. Then and
Hold
burn.
on. Because I'm really listening to this shit. And I'm like, this sounds like an announcement to, I guess, the people, the community. And what's going on in this announcement is someone telling people, because if you look at the video going on in the background, it's a lot of chaos going on, a lot of loot. And that's one of the words that this person is using. They're saying after you finish looting, to go and kill Indians and go and kill white. Listen, this shit's crazy. Oh no. Oh no, no. Yeah, so listen to this recording in the beginning. This is some type of service announcement to the community. Peep it. This is what's fucking going on in South Africa, y'all. Look at this shit.
Once you are done with the looting,
Once you're done with the
go
looting,
to Indian areas,
go
not
to
me saying
Indian
that, I'm saying the court
areas.
says that. Go to Indian communities,
Go to Indian
go there
community.
and kill Indians
Go there and kill
and
Indians
burn their houses.
and burn their
Go
houses.
to white areas, go there once you are done with looting, go there and kill white
Once
communities,
you're done with looting,
then
go
and
to the
burn their
white
houses.
communities and kill the white people and burn down their houses.
Welcome, everybody, to a very serious topic today here on the Serpent Today channel.
So this is the dude that made me want to do this video. I don't know his name. I don't care to know his name. But this guy has some nerves, man. Some real nerves, and I want y'all to tell me if I'm wrong. But I think he got some nerves saying some of the stuff that he's saying. I'll fill you in on it because I'm with this. I'm with this. I'm with y'all. We on this. Just let's
We are
keep
going
this
to be
this
talking about
serious.
South Africa, which, for those of you who don't know, I am South African. I was born in Cape Town, grew up in Cape
So you hear he's South African and he was born in Cape Town.
Town until the age of 11, and then moved to Johannesburg in the Gauteng area, as it's called now. It used to be called the Transvaal. And I've seen a lot of change in my life. I've seen a lot of unrest in my life. I've seen a lot of nonsense and bad things in South Africa. And just to set the record straight here, I really, really hate South Africa. Just had to put that out there.
So so being that he was born in South Africa, raised in South Africa, kind of gives him that right to say if he dislikes or doesn't like, where he's from. You could be somewhere, you could be from somewhere and don't like it. Yeah, but look at who he is, and when he says what he says, he's saying it like he's being blatant about it. Like he's not just he's saying it like he wants to just be blatant and have it come out of his mouth like he wants to fit into some type of group. So he's going to say this so that the group could accept him. This guy.
And the reason I hate South Africa, the Transvaal, and I've seen a lot of change in my life. I've seen a lot of unrest in my life. I've seen a lot of nonsense. And
look at his
bad
face too when he
things in
says
South
it.
Africa. And just to set the record straight here, I really, really hate South Africa. Just had to put that out there.
Yeah,
and the
just
reason
had to
I
put
hate
that
South
out
Africa
there.
is
Like,
because of what it's taken from me.
I'm glad
and what
I
it's
got
done.
that off my chest.
And it's not that I hate the physical country or hate the people. It's the system. And there's a reason why I had to uproot my life and move to China and live in China for 14 years. And that was mainly because I knew living in...
Don't take the time and fill us in on the system. Just tell us that that's what it is, and go ahead and
South
finish
Africa,
explaining.
I would never be able to survive. We're going to talk a lot about what's going on in South Africa now, exactly what has sparked everything that's going on, and what is going on at the moment, because there's a lot of mixed nonsense going on in the news. I have a lot of insider information, and of course, having lived there for 25 years of my life.
And of course, you're one of the people who's adding to that mix-up.
I know more or less how it works. So what we're going to do, everyone, is we're going to get straight into it. Let me just get a couple of things going here. In the background here, I will be showing you just a little bit of what's going on. Now, I have about 4.5 hours straight of just rioting, looting, burning, violence footage. Okay, I had to...
Now, y'all got to watch these videos with these people looting in the background. Y'all might have to rewind this and look again and see, but these people are taking everything. Like, they're not leaving fixtures in some of these facilities, man. This is crazy.
Scrub through it in order to remove, obviously, the worst of it, because, the last thing I want to do is show people being killed and dead people and stuff like that, because, of course, there's no way this video is going to be monetized in any case.
That's what's up.
But I just don't want to completely get the video taken down, because it's important.
That's what up. Even though we could take it, but we know you're concerned about your video being removed because of certain things that might violate community rules.
Talk about what's going on there. So I have scrubbed out all of the really bad stuff. If something crops up in there by mistake, I apologize. There's a lot of crap going on, and sometimes it's difficult to...
Now, he's bullshit. A lot of these times, these guys, they do these videos and they edit them. So, just him saying that, as a viewer, that some bullshit is going to be in there.
Get rid of everything. But what we're going to do is going to start out by just explaining what's going on. We're on about day 9 or so of this absolute chaos in South Africa. And, well, we're going to have to take it back a notch here. we're going to have to take it back to the former president, Jacob Zuma, because this was the spark that started all of this stuff. Now, for those of you who don't know Jacob Zuma, he's this absolute clown of a man.
Jacob Zuma was the president at this time that he's speaking on, you know. And I want to point out how immediately this guy starts insulting and name calling.
He's incredibly corrupt, crazy buffoon. If there's any other way to well, there are lots of things I'd like to say, but I won't say. But he was president of the country for a very long time, incredibly corrupt, stole huge amounts of money from the government, built his own private homeland,
Hold on.
using government money, gave all of his friends.
Hold up 1 second there, buddy.
President of the country for a very long time, incredibly corrupt, stole huge amounts of money from the government, built his own private homeland.
What does he say here?
Using government money, gave all of his friends and people in his family and stuff huge tenders, government tenders, and he's faced over at least over 700 official charges of corruption.
No.
We're going to have to take it back a notch here.
Yeah, let's take it back to that.
We're going to have to take it back to the former president, Jacob Zuma, because this was the spark that started all of this stuff. Now, for those of you who don't know Jacob Zuma, he's this absolute clown of a man. He's incredibly
insults,
corrupt,
name calling,
crazy buffoon. If there's any other way to well, there are lots of things I'd like to say, but I won't say. But he was president of the country.
Those lots of things that he wants to say, one of them is nigger.
For a very long time, incredibly corrupt, stole huge amounts of money from the government, built his own private homeland, using government money, gave all of his friends and people in his family and stuff huge tenders, government tenders, and he's faced over at least over 700 official charges of corruption. And even before he became president, he was facing...
Okay, I'm going to look at all of that right now, speculation. With all of this video you got going on in the background, you could be putting some video of all the stuff you're talking about right now. Even all of that stuff is proof. It shows us what you're saying is the truth.
Multiple charges of corruption. But of course... that's how Africa works and South Africa works. It doesn't matter if someone is a corrupt criminal, you can still become a politician if you are connected in the right way.
That's how Africa and South Africa work. So he's not singling out just South Africa. In power.
You put someone in power because they're...
the whole South Africa, if you know people and you have connections, you basically could put yourself in power. Oh, bullshit.
Or because they have the right connections. And that's just how it goes. So this absolute crazy corrupt guy went into office, stole huge amounts of money from the country, did all sorts of crazy stuff, including raping an HIV/AIDS positive activist, which that's bad enough that he raped someone, but he got off the hook.
So he's saying that the president at that time raped an somebody who had HIV.
Because they couldn't prove it wasn't consensual, but who would consensually, without a condom, have sex with an HIV-positive activist anyway?
Now, you see, you listen to that? You're listening to how he put it? Who would have sex? This is supposed to be a rape, not someone having sex. This is You see how he didn't put it that way? And how he's more interested in someone having sex with someone who has AIDS. Not someone raping somebody with someone who has... Not someone raping somebody who has AIDS. You see? You see? So you could really... you could really start pinpointing in on what this dude is doing and why he's doing it.
He said that he took a shower afterwards, so it was okay. Anyway, this is one of the crazy things that he did. And of course, I left South Africa during his reign of terror, so to speak. And this corrupt piece of shit guy has been dodging all of.
He left South Africa because he didn't want to get his ass whipped like some of the white people getting their ass whipped out there right now. No disrespect, but it's happening, you know? I could only say that that's what's happening. It's happening. There's crazy news reports of white people getting done in out in South Africa right now.
Of his charges of corruption for years and years and years. Anyway, finally it got to a point where he had to answer for some of what he's doing, right? Eventually it got to a point where the Constitutional Court, the highest court in the country, put him on trial and said, you have to come and answer to some corruption charges.
It sounds like something familiar happening here in the United States right now.
Which he didn't. He never appeared in court. He kept making excuses about, oh, I'm sick, oh, I'm going to get COVID if I go to jail. You can't, take me to court.
Sounds really familiar to situations out here.
Court, and I mean, this is
concerning an individual who's in trouble with the law.
A million times, because he's got a very staunch, strong support base. And I'm going to talk about that support base in a minute, because you have to understand. Oh, hang on a second. This guy in the background is important. I want us to listen to him in a second. He has a very strong support base, and the reason being he's Zulu. And you have to understand how South Africa works. It's very...
So right now you see where the drama is stimulating. The Zulu. Everybody knows Zulu don't fuck with nobody unless you fuck with Zulu.
Tribal. You have Zulus, you have Xhosas, you have Ndebelés, you have so many different tribes, okay? But you also have a big Indian diaspora. You have the white people. You have the coloreds, the Cape Coloreds. You have many...
The what? This man said you have the coloreds, the Cape... He's calling them the Cape Coloreds. What is that? We got to do some research and find out why in Africa they have a group of people called the coloreds.
Different groups of people, and it's a very tribal society. It's a very divided society. Even though there's this idea of the rainbow nation, everybody coming together. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen a rainbow that is brown, black, and white? That's not a rainbow. That's shit. That's the color of literal shit.
See how you're trying to be disrespectful? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, he gonna get it for this. I know he is. You can't say shit like that and people don't confront you on that.
Shit. It's a shit nation. It's not a rainbow nation. It's disgusting. This idea of everybody being happy-go-lucky and getting along and being part of this one big nation is a fantastic idea, but in practice it's not correct. You cannot try to erase everybody's identity and lump them into one sort of thing. It doesn't work.
What did you say? You can't try to erase everybody's identity and lump them into one thing? It's not going to work? I want y'all to remember what he said right there and then focus on something that he's going to talk about later on. Check this nigga here. I could beat this dude. Like, this dude really looked like one of those dudes you would beat up at school because he's just a punk. Everything he do is like, you're just a sucker. You're a sissy. You're just a faggot. Get out of here.
The tribal stuff is very strong in South Africa. So anyway, the Zulus, if anyone doesn't know anything about Zulus, are incredibly strong fighters and warriors. If you've ever heard of Shaka Zulu, maybe you've seen that old 60s film Zulu. I don't know. But when I was growing up, I always had a lot of respect for the Zulus. And I actually used to work with a lot of Zulus at one point. And I always found that the Zulus are very strong, I would say good people, in my estimation anyway, but unfortunately also very apt to go off the rails easily when they feel like they're being slighted. Now, you have incredibly good Zulu leaders like King Goodwill Zwelithini or Buthelezi or any of these guys. And there's a lot to respect, when it comes to some of these Zulu leaders, but not Zuma. He's an absolute clown. He's a piece of shit. But he has an incredibly loyal following.
So all the Zulus is cool, except for this one dude. This one dude is a piece of shit.
Of his Zulu supporters. And this is important because where this stuff broke out is in KwaZulu-Natal, which is kind of the stronghold that's the stronghold of Zuma, that's where he's from, and it's also a massive, big concentration of Zulus. Anyway, we're going to take a look at a man on the ground because...
So basically, it's a Zulu community. That's what it is. It's a Zulu community. The same Zulus who you think is cool. This dude who you think is a piece of shit is living amongst these people. Why don't they think he's a piece of shit like you? I mean, I would assume if he's a piece of shit that he would be a piece of shit in the hood or in the community. What's the deal with that?
Thought, if we're going to find out what's going on with the riots, let's ask somebody on the ground. So let's just get past all the usual looting and burning stuff, which is kind of just a pastime in South Africa and has been since I was a young child.
You guys really got to go back and look at all of the background video and shit, man, because there's a lot of shit. I wanted to touch on some of that shit. I am, because there's some funny shit going on.
All right, so let's find out.
The shops in times are safe as people are protesting. How are you going to make sure that?
I'm sure like in like a spa.
Yeah.
When you pay the food, and then to go to the spa, and then to wait to the food, and then to go to the boxer.
Yeah.
And then to tell to the boxer how gonna to perspective to the people, how gonna to lend to the money.
Yeah.
And then to when you pay the money to the people.
Yeah.
Any question?
Yeah, I hope that cleared it up for you as to exactly what's happening on the ground in South Africa right now. But all jokes aside, it is a confusing mess. But there is something to this which we're going to get into. So anyway,
this dude, he's all about trying to clown Africa right now, specifically South Africa, and some of the people who live there.
Told he's going to jail because he's in contempt of court. And his supporters all rally around his homeland in Nkandla, and they're all like, if you come and take Zuma, then we're going to make this country ungovernable. That's what they were saying. Guess what? It is currently ungovernable.
You're trying to take a nigga whose name is Zuma from a bunch of Zulus.
But, it's not really exactly what it seems. So eventually, Zuma actually handed himself in. And guess what? It's only a 15-month sentence. After all this bullshit, he's only getting a 15-month sentence, this disgusting, corrupt piece of shit who's done everything wrong in the world and has gotten away with every single thing, destroyed a country, basically, is going to get 15 months. Wonderful. So these riots and looting stuff start to break out. Now, this was initially as a response to Zuma getting in, being put in jail. But it shortly just became mass hysteria. And this is something that I have witnessed myself many, many times in South Africa. Okay, when something kicks off, and it doesn't matter what, this mob mentality just grips a community or grips an area, and you will find everybody joining in, old men, young children.
Oh, yeah. Are you talking about Zulu, homeboy? Everybody know when Zulu move, everybody moves. You know what I'm saying? If you don't move, you're gonna be part of the ground, but that's not moving. You see what I'm saying? That's how Zulu get down. You either move or you turn into the dirt.
young women, old women, they'll all be stoning someone to death or setting someone on fire or doing whatever it is. If they think someone is
Yeah.
a witch or something like that,
Yeah.
they go in and they do all these things. I've seen it personally with my own eyes. I used to live next to Deep Slurt, about 4 miles away as the crow flies from Deep Slurt, which is a township which is just wrought with, it's full of absolute chaos all the time, and crime. And I used to drive past there fairly often, which is not a good idea to drive past there because you can get your car stoned or, there's all sorts of things that can happen if they see you're a white person. It has happened. I just drove past there anyway a lot. And the one time I actually saw the aftermath of a necklacing, which is disgusting. If you ever want to have nightmares, just search necklacing, all right? And you will see exactly what necklacing.
He doesn't like going.
Just search necklacing, all right?
Oh.
And you will see exactly what necklacing. A township which is just wrought with, it's full of absolute chaos all the time, and crime. And I used to drive past there fairly often, which is not a good idea to drive past there because you can get your car stoned or, there's all sorts of things that can happen if they see you're a white person. It has happened. I just drove past there.
He don't like to drive through there because if they see you a white person, there's something might go down. Sound familiar?
And the one time I actually saw the aftermath of a necklacing, which is disgusting. If you ever want to have nightmares, just search necklacing, all right? And you will see exactly what necklacing is. I'll just explain it to you. It's usually a member of the community gets caught for, I don't know, they say, doing a crime or suspected of witchcraft or whatever it is, or helping the bad government or whatever it is. During the apartheid days, they used to do this a lot to people that they thought were working with the apartheid state. And what they do is they take a car tire, they fill it with petrol, they put it over a person's neck, and they set it on fire. So...
You hear that shit? They take a car tire, fill it with gas, or they take the car tire, put it around somebody's neck, fill the car tire with gas, and then light it on fire. Can you imagine what that must look like? I can't tell you. Can you imagine what that might feel like? Because anybody who went through that, they dead. D-E-A-D, dead. You gotta know what a car tire does when you light it on fire, first of all. And then the rest will come to you.
Not only do they burn to death in a gruesome way, but the rubber sticks to them and they can't escape, and it's just disgusting. It's a horrible, horrible thing. Necklacing is just next level. I've seen that with my own eyes. It's disgusting. Something you do not erase from your mind. During my time in South Africa, I saw dead people a lot.
I saw dead people.
A lot of things happened to me and my family and my friends. I've had friends who've been murdered. There's a lot of things that I hate South Africa for. It's a fairly
South Africa, man.
Difficult place to
you know how many niggas
survive in, at least during.
Hey, you know how many niggas hate America? Yo, you know how many niggas left America because of the same hate you have? Why you left and went to China? Come on, bro.
During this time, in fact, pretty much forever. That's just the way South Africa is. Anyway, let's get back to this whole thing.
Yeah, let's get back to it.
The Zuma supporters were going around and starting all this, but it sparked off that mob mentality that I'm talking to you about. And, of course, opportunists jump in. When you see everybody rushing in and grabbing everything from the shops, you're going to join in. That's just how it works. That's that mob mentality kicking in. And certain people have been interviewed and asked, like, why did you do it? And they're like, well, Other people were doing it. I knew if I didn't go grab something, by the time they're all finished, there'll be nothing left in the shop anyway. And so I'm just going to go grab some things. And it became this huge thing where people were just going in and doing this. But now there's another side to this. Okay? The Zoomer thing kicked it off, yes, but that's not what's been keeping it going. And in fact, it turns out that this has been very well
Let
coordinated.
me tell y'all something, man. If people start running into your department store like a mob of crazy people, first thing that's gonna happen is all your employees they're gonna run and get out of there. They're gonna hit the deck or do whatever they can to get the hell out of there. Everybody, staff, management, even security, they out of there. So once that happens, and people who are outside are looking at a bunch of people running inside of a department store and coming out, no shopping bags, no nothing, just items and merchandise in their hands. Well, they're gonna think it's some type of a giveaway or some type of a, it's free shit. So they're gonna go. Yeah, they might realize, oh, it's people looting the store. But by the time they realize that, it's gonna be too late. They already in the mob. Why not grab some shit like everybody else and get out of there?
I don't talk about South Africa for a reason, okay? It's in my past. I try not to think about it. I still have family and
Talking about
friends
it
there.
now.
And of course, it concerns me greatly. Especially, people that you care about in a situation like this. It's something that I don't like to dwell on because it's really just tough to deal with. So I usually I keep in touch. I do talk about it. I don't talk about it in my videos. I try not to bring it up in my family conversations or, with friends. It's just a part of me that I kind of keep separate, and that's why you don't see it in a lot of my videos. But I am part of these groups, okay? My parents...
Check out these groups that he's part of.
My parents, 17 years ago, just before I left South Africa, my parents bought a farm. Okay? By the way, if you look here in the background, this is a child being thrown down to a crowd, successfully rescued because the building was set on fire. And of course
peep my man's in the back. Peep my man's in the background trying to drop a 58-inch television inside of this 42-inch Toyota Corolla. Yeah, I tell you, son, they going in.
People inside have to escape. This is the looters and rioters don't care. They just want to destroy. Anyway, my parents bought a farm. And it's not a farm that makes agricultural stuff.
Dang,
it's just
man,
like a piece of
homeboy
land
got the whole fridge
in
right
a
there.
very remote area. And they bought it to retire there and turn it into a game
cops
farm.
busting
Because
shots.
there's wild antelope and deer, like...
Yeah, I
African
noticed on this
versions of
video a lot of white police shooting at black people, man. Like, what the fuck is up with that? This South Africa, kid. What's going on, B?
deer walking around there. There's baboons and leopards and stuff like that. It's a very beautiful part of the country. It's very far out, very remote. It's got no value to anyone.
It's almost like...
they bought this piece of land.
It's almost like shooting a nigga. It's like shooting a lion. You gotta... You know how some of these white people be like, yo, you like you ain't live until you shot a lion and shit. You know what I'm saying? So you got these white people out there. Some of them is desperate to kill a black motherfucker, man, because that's what it's almost like. It's like a prize to kill a black motherfucker. That's fucking crazy, man. That's wild.
From from the original farmer that lived there, and they moved out there and started to build up the farmhouse and stuff so that they could retire there. But unfortunately, as we all know, when it comes to white people owning farms in South Africa is not very good. In fact, it's one of the most dangerous things that you could
I
be involved
I wonder why
in
is
South
that?
Africa as being a white farmer. It's pretty much a guarantee that you're going to be attacked and murdered and killed. And also the government wants to take all the land back from white farmers, which I find incredibly unfair since my parents, for instance,
He
only bought
finds
that
it
piece of land 17 years
incredibly
ago. So if a
unfair.
black
You see what I'm saying? Like my mind is just blown away from some of the shit that this guy got coming out of his mouth. It's like, are you kidding me here? Because he's in no doubt right now, reflecting his life, his living situation to the people who have living situations in America. This dude, he needs to get slapped in
black
public.
person had bought the same piece of land, they wouldn't be facing that. I understand if it's some kind of, oh, this is an ancestral piece of land that was just stolen and, we need it back. But it's not like that. This is modern day. Go buy a...
Huh? What? Did you hear what this motherfucker just... Hold the fuck up. Hold the fuck on. This motherfucker is just out of order, man. He's strictly out of fucking order, man.
started to build up the farmhouse and stuff so that they could retire there.
Talk about his parents. They built
But
a house so that they could
as
retire.
we all know, things when it comes to white people owning farms in South Africa is not very good.
Apparently they must have been getting threatened.
It's one of the most dangerous things that you could be involved in South Africa is being a white farmer. It's pretty much a guarantee that you're going to be attacked and murdered and killed. And also the government wants to take all the land back from white farmers, which I find incredibly unfair since my parents, for instance, only bought that piece of land 17 years ago. So if a black person had bought the same piece of land, they wouldn't be facing that. I understand if it's some kind of, oh, this is an ancestral piece of land that was just stolen. And
if a black person would have bought this piece of land, that none of that stuff would have happened to him. Are y'all hearing this shit?
we need it back, but it's not like that. This is modern day. Go buy a property. Okay, here it is.
No, that's the fucking dumb shit right there, man. That right there is what I want to. I have to hear again.
These South African groups, which have had to form out of necessity, and these groups.
No, homeboy, you got to explain yourself.
Build up the farmhouse and stuff. So
he has to explain himself, man, because.
But unfortunately, as we all know, things when it comes to white people owning farms in South Africa is not very good. In fact, it's one of the most dangerous things that you could be involved in South Africa is being a white farmer. It's pretty much a guarantee that you're going to be attacked.
You're going to be attacked.
And killed. And also the government wants to take all the land back from white farmers, which I find incredibly unfair since my parents, for instance, only bought that piece of land 17 years ago. So if a black person had bought the same piece of land, they wouldn't be facing that.
Now listen.
I understand if it's some kind of, oh, this is an ancestral piece of land that was just stolen and, we need it back. But it's not like that. This is modern.
If it was an ancestral piece of land that was stolen, he's saying he would understand. But it's not like that. That his reason for why it's not like that is because this is the new world. Like,
go buy a property. Okay, here it is. I paid for it. Anyway, that's all.
Hold on, you bitch ass motherfucker.
Back from white farmers, which I find incredibly unfair since my parents, for instance, only bought that piece of land 17 years ago. So if a black person had bought the same piece of land, they wouldn't be facing that. I understand if it's some kind of, oh, this is an ancestral piece of land that was just stolen and, we need it back. But it's not like that. This is modern day. Go buy a property. This is
modern day.
Okay, here it is. I paid for it.
Go buy your shit. You see the nerve of this motherfucker? You see, this is why. You see why I had to make this fucking video? And he kept touching on shit like this that had me like, what? Like this is... if it was the other way around, he would be appalled. You know what I'm saying? He would be appalled. If he would be appalled if I took his fucking family's land, and it was had burial props on that and all that shit, and he goes, yo, that's and I say to him, this is new times here, man. You want some land, go buy your own shit. This is what he's saying.
Anyway, that's all. That's a completely different debate, and I don't want to get onto that. The reason I'm bringing this up
Sorry
is
ass
part of these
motherfucker, man.
groups, these South African groups, which have had to form out of necessity, and these groups look out for each other. They're usually farmers in the communities. It's not just white farmers, by the way. It's not just white people. The people that get attacked on the farms are not just white people. It's also the farm workers. It's also people that live in the area get.
Who are the farm workers? Other black people?
Coming in there and doing these
y'all
terrible
came to
things,
Africa and got slaves in Africa?
It's brutal and disgusting. And of course, the rest of the world does not care because it's white people, and that really is just that's the be all and end all of it. Unfortunately, it's something that I've had to deal with, and like I said, I don't talk about South Africa because there's no point. Just leave, if you can. That's really that's my attitude towards South Africa. So anyway, I'm part of these groups that look out for each other, and what they do is when somebody gets murdered or has been attacked, they
try leaving a place with that you're surrounded by a whole bunch of goons that won't let you leave. And they beat you and they kill your family and separate you. Huh? It's simple to say, you just get up and leave. You bitch ass motherfucker. Like, yo, I swear, man.
Send out messages to let everybody know and be on the lookout, or if they've noticed some suspicious activity, they also, send the messages out. And this has been a pretty good way to keep track of what's been going on right now, because in these groups are people that are part of private security firms, people that are on the lookout, part of sort of, I don't know, neighborhood watch type situations, but, on a larger scale. You've got people who are on the ball, people that are connected to the police, all that kind of thing. So the information flow has been coming in fast and furious during this time. I'm going to play you a couple of small clips here. I'm not going to play all of them. I don't want to, give away anyone's identity or anything like that, but I'm just going to play a couple of things to give you an idea about what's going on. There are too numerous of these to play, but this gives you an idea of maybe another side to what's going on. So I'm going to play, I've got a separate phone for that specific thing, and I've also got a couple of messages on here. So I'm going to start by playing a little clip for you here from Durban. And Durban is in KwaZulu-Natal, where this all kicked off, by the way. Durban is probably it's kind of like the Florida, I guess, of South Africa. It's the tropical beach place. It's a really nice place.
The nicest places in
Indian
Africa.
Majority.
That's where some of these people took Indians, white people. They just took those nice lands, and that's where they rock.
You don't know the situation, yeah. They burnt every factory that supplies.
You can hear this guy's voice that he's an Indian.
Food. Every food factory, every chemical factory. They're aiming, and they're still literally aiming. I'll give you an instance of somebody who contracts for Macro in Springfield. So Macro in Springfield tells his security company that, listen here, you, any amount of money, but just, we don't care what's the price, but you get as many guards as possible here. Put as many guards as possible. So he put 30 fully armed security. When the guys came, they came in 60 armored vehicles, AK-47s and everything. And he told the guys, listen here, you move from here or you die. So they cleared out every bit of police and security in the area.
Oh, shit.
This is strategically planned. It is not normal shit.
So this dude was just talking about how the group that he talking about got some people down with them that, they deal with security and stuff like that. Some of them have connections with police. And he's just playing us a voice note right now where I guess some of these groups, merged together to defend some spot. And a guy said that they put like 30 armed guys there, and so these dudes rolled up with like 60 armored vehicles and told them dudes to either move or die.
So they
Okay, I got a couple more that I'd like you to listen to as well. Here we go.
Yeah, Jim, we had an incident here today. SAPS contacted me and the security companies contacted me asking for ammunition. I gave them about 10 boxes of shotgun shells.
Okay,
And,
this guy
about 200
right here, he sounds like he's either British or Australian.
rounds of 9 mil. By 9 o'clock it was finished. They asked me again. So what I did was I contacted Hen's Arms,
Yeah,
dropped it
skip
off with
some
me, and then
names.
quickly did a U-turn, and then I distributed some of the stuff. I went to the police station, gave them some stuff. It's a fuck up here, Chana. This is like apocalyptic shit. I've just been called to fucking work, believe it or not. I've got to come do a few hours from Gladiator. We've been coordinating with
This
Scott
dude, he
Prasad.
sound like
They've
he's
had shit all
going
day
through it
there,
right
and,
now. He got little curse
it's gonna be
words
really
coming
bad
out of his mouth
tonight.
and
They
all
reckon they're
kinds
going to
of
hit
shit.
Scotland Mall and burn the whole Scotland Mall down. So the whole community's there, Oaks with hunting rifles, and whoever's able is there with firearms and ammunition. Time to fuck around is over, from what I gather from those guys there, because I'm certainly not going to fucking fire and waste ammunition, unfortunately. I don't care anymore. You can't have lawlessness on one side and then everybody else on the other side must be lawful abiding citizens when it's in a situation like this. It's now gone beyond. It's way, way beyond. This behavior is
They
not
got it
acceptable.
turned up
I'm sure
out
you know.
there in
It's just,
South
I haven't slept for
Africa
2 days,
right
man.
now,
I
man.
was awake the whole night last night. I never
And,
slept.
and this
Shit
video
hitting the
was
fan
like
in
a year
Durban.
ago.
We were trying to send people to assist. We went to Manzum Toti. We actually saved the Manzum Toti police
They're
station.
wilding out there right
The
now.
guys hit Hillcrest. They hit Chatsworth. They hit Isipingo, and even Durban Central Police Station. They surrounded completely. They were coming for Toti, and luckily message got out, and everybody, the community members in Toti were really good. They rallied there and protected the police station. Then the shit spilled over down to Sipingo side and up to Athlone there. And big fuck up. So we've been busy with that all night. And then this morning from about 4 o'clock, the shit started hitting the fan everywhere. And it started here in Umkomaas and Craigieburn, and they just started getting bussed in. But what blew my mind is that none of the roads were closed. These guys were free to travel in and out of the town as much as they wanted to, just driving up and down. People were just watching them. There's just not enough police. Military helicopters flew over and did assessments today. Nobody fucking assisted at all. Then the SAPS helicopters flew over a few times and nobody assisted at all. These guys have literally been left to themselves. I think it's fucking sad and disgusting. Everybody who is able-bodied and has a firearm should be here assisting on the coast.
So anyone who has a gun needs to be out there right now.
It's a terrible situation. The guys usually cry wolf and all a bit nervous. Hey, bro, that's over. It's happening. So don't fuck around, bro. Don't miss.
I wonder.
Okay,
I wonder what they was crying wolf about. See, these people, they know what the fuck is really going on. They're just not talking about it, but they're saying certain shit out loud that they're really supposed to keep a secret.
Talking about SAPS, which is the South African Police Force, and the South African Police Force is completely useless. I mean, it usually is useless, okay? But it's not exactly their fault that they're useless. They're understaffed, they're underpaid, they're under-equipped, they're full of corruption. The police are just lose firearms, like it's just a hobby or something like that. So, the police keep losing their guns, but actually what they're doing is selling them to the criminals.
You hear that? So you can see, like, all of this talk that this guy he got going on. when you really look at it, the police is working with the mob. Yeah, some of them is out there shooting at the mob, but some of them is in the mob. This is wild, man. This is crazy.
The South African Police Service is useless and cannot really control what's going on here. And so they've, in some cases, run out of rubber bullets. They're asking private security companies and they're asking just citizens and stuff to help them, supply them with ammunition and so on in certain places. It really is quite crazy. But we're still getting to that other part. I'm going to play just a little bit more of something else, and then we'll talk about it.
So that's what them a do right now. A beanbag and rubber bullet them a give the people there. But them no want the people them for take up arms because them not gonna have no rubber bullet.
Type it out. So, yeah, this is more organized than what we think. The fact that they're stealing TVs and fridges and all that, that's just a distraction. What they're actually doing is they're stocking up on food. They're taking all the food. I mean, all the cars that we pulled over, number one, they all had their license plates removed.
So you heard what I said? The police is working with the mob. They have a plan. They put a plan into action already. You know what I'm saying? And I guess it's to take what's theirs, man. You know?
So it's an organized instruction. Secondly, they all had the same excuse, almost verbatim, is we hungry. And
that's the reason why we're looting. We're hungry.
These are all different. It's supposed to be random vandalists.
Everybody got that same reason.
Same MO. And I tell you, they stuffed in their cars polony. Obviously, they don't learn their lesson. Frozen chickens, meat, rice, all that kind of thing. Their cars were full of that. And, believe it or not, canned dog food.
Okay, this message goes on to say, I'll just basically tell you what's going on here. The looters are not only taking all the food and everything they can put their hands on, but they're destroying everything. They're burning down all the shops. They're burning down the trucks. They're blocking off highways and roads. They're absolutely just decimating everything.
Yeah, and you want to know why? I'm going to tell y'all why. I'm sure that a discussion came up about the Africans wanting their properties and stuff like that back. And I'm sure that, the people who were on their properties were arguing that they had interest there, meaning, built this here, we have a facility here, we have building here, houses here, and we're not going to just give that to you. And so we can't leave our spot. And so the Africans is like, okay, if you don't want to leave your place, we're going to destroy it. This way, there'll be nothing here for you to say you have any interest to. So that's what they're doing. They know that them discussions probably was brought up with everybody who wanted their property, and there was something on their property that if they ran the people out, they would easily just move in and open up their own business or furnish their new house, and the people who own that shit, they don't want that happening. But they don't want to destroy their own shit, so they're deciding, hey, we're just not going to leave. But they're like, nah, y'all got to go. And what we're going to do to make y'all comfortable about it is we're going to destroy y'all shit. This way y'all can't say y'all have anything here.
Point is, they're trying to disrupt, the normal food supply and things like petrol, gasoline.
Oh, come on.
And it's working. I've spoken to people.
This is what they're trying to do. He don't want to tell y'all. This dude don't want to tell y'all what they really doing. They're not trying to do. They're doing.
People that I personally know all across the country. And everywhere that I've spoken to, people in places as far-flung as Welkom, places in Johannesburg. My sister and her husband and them live in Johannesburg, and other friends. I've spoken to people in Durban. I've spoken to people all over the place. And one thing that's happened is that there is a shortage of food. Okay, you can't even buy bread in many places anymore because the supply lines have been cut off. You know, the
Oh,
trucks have
this
been
is
burnt,
what
and even the
this is
distribution
what I'm
stations have
concerned
been
about.
completely
He is not
destroyed and
concerned
burnt
about
down.
none
So
of
what's
that
happening
at
is
all.
people all over the country are panic buying food right now. And a lot of them can't get it because of the shortage. Petrol is also in many places no longer available. So people go to the gas station. I should say gasoline for all you Yanks out there. But gasoline is in
You
short
should say
supply.
gasoline for
People
all
are
you
going to the
Yanks
gas
out there.
stations and there's none there. And it's pretty crazy. This is going on everywhere in the country. So even though these big, like looting and riot type thing, this chaos is happening specifically in KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng, and it's branched off to tons of different places. It's not just localized in those places anymore. It doesn't matter because it's affected the supply chain across the entire country. Things like gas refineries have actually been shut down. Dairies, all this kind of thing, have all been shut down because there's no point in even producing anything right now because you can't even deliver it anywhere. This, I've been hearing from a lot of different messages. This appears to be incredibly well coordinated. They're actually having people bust in. So what they'll do is they'll bus in about 3,000 odd people to a specific location, and then the looting starts and the burning and the destruction and all of that kind of thing. A lot of people are thinking that it's connected to some powerful friends of Jacob Zuma in the intelligence service. Some people are thinking that it's the EFF, the Economic Freedom Fighters. If you don't know the EFF, that's that crazy radical political party where the leader Malema says, we're not calling for the slaughter and killing of white people, at least for now. That guy, the EFF could be behind it. But
So there's a guy out there who's in charge of some type of fighter force out there that's saying that they're not calling for the killing of white people, at least for now. So you already know they have intentions on turning that dial up. You know what I'm saying?
But it's definitely coordinated. It's not just opportunistic looting. And a lot of these messages obviously are showing that. Now, there is one clip that I can't show you, but I can play you the audio, and it sums up what's been going on. This is quite early on. The Indian community specifically in KwaZulu-Natal has been fighting back, and they've taken law into their own hands, and they've been protecting their shops and protecting their communities by just shooting the looters when they come there. Kind of like roof Koreans, but like it's on a much bigger scale. And they're going in and they're actually burning down informal settlements where a lot of the criminals have been staying.
He got roof Koreans from the LA riots, y'all. Like this dude right here, he's all the way racist, man. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the shit that he did coming out of his mouth is just straight racist.
Things like there's all sorts of crazy
roof Koreans. Come on. Disrespectful.
vigilante stuff going on in South Africa right now because the community and communities can no longer, well, never really could, to be honest, at least not in my lifetime, rely on the police because the police are useless in South Africa. They really are useless. They can try as hard as they want, but they just, anyway. So they can't rely on them, so they have to take law into their own hands. So there's a clip here of a man who's dying, who's been shot and is lying on the street, and it's an Indian guy is talking to him, came across him, listen to what he says.
Check this out, y'all.
Hi guys, this is one of the fuckers that came and burnt the trucks. And now he got fucked up basically properly, and he's lying near the fire. So he's about to die, and I'm very, very happy he died.
Dude, he said the dude's about to die, and he's very, very happy. Like, he's happy that someone's about to die.
I said, die. Die, your mother. Die.
And he's telling the dude to die. He's like, die. Die, he's saying your mother, die.
Fucker. You must fucking die.
You must fucking die.
You puss.
You puss.
Big puss.
So that can pretty much give you an idea of the sentiment of what's going on because of all this lawlessness. By the way, if you want to know what poes means, it's basically just Afrikaans for cunt. Okay, so he's saying.
So he wants to throw that out there, you know, because like this dude is racist. So any bit of chance that he can get to expose the name calling that these people do give to, you know, they're Africans that they're killing. So he has to throw that out there. You know what I mean? He if he didn't, he would leave it alone. You know, he would move on.
They die, you know. And that's how people are feeling right now. It's disgusting. South Africa has been in this state of open tension since I was a young boy. It is a crazy, messed up country. Everyone trying to pretend like everything is okay. Everyone trying to pretend like, oh, it's, you know, such a beautiful country and we're a rainbow nation. But at the same time, it's not okay, and it never has been okay. It has always been a mess, and it has always been a country full of racial tensions and a lot of hatred. And it's unfortunate that this kind of thing is now
Africa always
really
been
just
a country
accelerated,
full of
you know,
racial
kind
tensions.
of what's been going on for years.
Let me tell you something, man. There was nothing racist about Africa until the white man put his foot on there. You see what I'm saying? Because when the white man put his foot on there, he brought racism there. See what I'm saying? He felt that he was stronger than the African, that he should rule over the African, that the African was inferior to him, smaller than him. What the fuck are you? You're not listening to none of this shit? You don't see what builds some of the traits of racism? Huh? What's one of the number one traits of racism? Another race claiming to be better than the other. Fucking meatballs.
The crime levels in South Africa are unacceptable. They always have been unacceptable. You know, if you just look at the fact that it's the rape capital of the world, which it really is, it's got the highest AIDS infection in the world. It's got the ridiculous amount of murders every day. The lawlessness is just crazy. And now we're just seeing it, you know, on a larger scale. It's just kicked off. It is what it is, guys.
It's people not having it anymore. That's what it is. It's people not having it anymore. It's people who was ran off of their land. And got nowhere to live. But gotta work for you guys. And gotta go through all of the bullshit that you guys give them. So that in order for them to survive. On somebody else's land or somebody else's property. When they have their own land that they could be living on. But because somebody want to be a thief and steal and take their shit. They gotta be going through this. And it only gets harder for them. And when it gets harder, they get harder. You know what they say, when the going get tough get going.
I would like to show you something. Look, this shit that's going on in the background, you get the idea. I mean, this I could play, like I said, I've got 4.5 hours of this footage. And I've got tons of footage of really disgusting dead people and people being chopped up with what we call a pango, which is a machete. Or people being shot or whatever. And you know what? There's no point in showing that kind of shit. It's something that you grow up with when you live in South Africa, this kind of lawlessness and savagery that you see a lot.
He don't want to show that shit because he don't want to show the things that are happening to white people. He only want to show the things that are happening to black people. You see, like the video he just was showing of the Indian dude who, I guess, shot a black dude who was burning trucks. and wanted the dude to die. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, this dude don't, he's above the shit that he's way over the shit that he's talking about. You know? He's way over it with a totally different agenda. Let's peep it.
When it comes to this mob mentality kind of thing that goes on in South Africa. You grow up with it, you get used to it. It affects all your friends, all your family. And you know what the worst part of all of this is? That it's not black and white. See what I did there? Black and white. I'm not talking about races here. I'm talking about, gray areas. It's not black and white. It affects everybody.
He's purely talking about race.
The poor people get hit just as much as the rich. In fact, they get hit more, to be honest. But they get hit. Now, where is everybody going to get their food? What is the point of being a law-abiding citizen in a country that only rewards criminality? What is the point? If you are a law-abiding citizen in South Africa, you're fucked. Like, that's the problem. Is you are the target of a corrupt government. You are the target of criminals. You are the one who bears the brunt of all of the bad choices of the government and all of the bad choices of society. The people that abide by the law. And I'm talking about people in every single different tribe, race, and diaspora. If you are law-abiding, you lose out. If you're a criminal thug, things are easy. And there's nothing to really stop you. South Africa is like that. And there'll be a lot of South Africans out there who will hate me for being so blunt about it because they live in this fucking fantasy. This fantasy in their mind that South Africa is great and South Africa is just such a wonderful country. And you know what? It's a great proof of people coming together and being happy. And, it's only a few criminal elements that kind of make it bad. No. The country is based on a criminal government with a majority criminal element out there that's preying on the weak and preying on the good and preying on the law-abiding.
I'm sure that's fucked. All lies because he has no proof.
People out there who like to go
like
on
I
and
said
on about
earlier, all of this video he's showing, he could be popping all of that stuff he's talking about on screen because I'm sure if it was something put out there, he would have that information to easily paste it on screen for us to see.
It is. You deserve to stay there, okay? You deserve this because you're not helping. You don't help by saying everything's wonderful, okay? What you do is you focus on the fact that there's a problem, you talk about it, and you fix it. You find a way to fix it. You don't shut down the conversation every time somebody tries to point out issues. It's like China. When you try to say...
The problem is some of y'all stole these African people's land and they want their shit back. It's plain and simple.
That the CCP is bad. You get 1 billion 50-cent woomals saying like, no, your country's worse. Well, yeah, my country is worse. This is my country, and I acknowledge that. South Africa is a fucking basket case. And you know what? I admit that because I want it to change. You see? This kind of crap that's going on, I'm out of there.
You only hate it because you can't have what's not yours. You see? You would love it if you could have what's not yours. But because you can't have what's not yours, you hate it with every ounce of blood you have in your body.
I left specifically because I knew there was no future for me. I would never in a million years have a family and bring up a family in South Africa. Never. Never, ever. That place is lost to me. And whether I have to swim to an island somewhere or, I don't know, get arrested in Thailand or something just to stay away from South Africa.
He hears, dude, he would rather be locked up in a third world country jail than be in South Africa.
That's what I'll do. I don't care. I'm not going back. That's it. Beautiful country. Some of the strongest most resilient people in the world, some of the nicest people in the world. But you know what? That doesn't matter for shit when you're dead. Anyway, I'm going to get onto something now which is important for everyone. Okay. What you see in this blurry background over here, guys, what you see in this blurry background is my daughter there in the yellow dress. I've blurred everything because it's kids. I'm not going to film some random people's kids and put them on a YouTube video.
He blurred everything because it's his kid. He don't care about all the other kids.
About, you know, about South Africa. What you can see here, guys, is my daughter playing with children. Okay, now that might seem weird. Oh, okay, that's what kids do. But my daughter's half Chinese. She is playing with kids over there, Mexican, black, Korean, Puerto Rican, white, and God knows what else. Everything you can think of, like a big mix.
His daughter's playing with all different races.
And there's nothing, there's no hatred, there's no weirdness, there's no racism, hatred, there's no bullshit. It's safe. Look at that. It's kids being kids. Okay?
You're right. It's kids being kids. You know what I'm saying? None of them got like book bags, or purses, or wallets. None of them got guns or knives. None of them know what stealing means or what it's like to steal. Huh? None of them know about making somebody upset or what it's like to get upset. They don't even know those words. So what the fuck? What is his fucking point?
This is America.
No, it's not. You hear this shit? This dude's demonstration with his daughter playing with all these different races, and that they're not fighting or fussing with each other, no arguing. That this is America. Oh shit! Here.
Everyone in America is fucking deluded. They think it's the most racist country in the world. You don't know what real racism is, all right?
All right. So this is why I'm touching on this shit, because I need you to listen to what he's saying. All right. He's taking a word and throwing an adjective on it. And because of that adjective, he's given himself to him justifiable dialogue to spread. Oh my God.
If you grew up in South Africa, if you lived in China, any of these places that I've spent great times of, like great periods of my life in, you would...
Now remember, he's saying real racism. All right. Real racism. Like there's a fake racism, and then there's a real racism. And what he's talking about is the real racism. And the stuff the people in America are talking about is the fake racism.
Know what real racism is. America is a
real
country
racism. Listen to him.
Where my child, who is a mixed child, can play with children of all different races, and the parents sitting around there are of all different races.
And a gunman could come up in there and shoot and kill your daughter and everybody, his kid, and all of their parents in that circle. In America. You don't care to mention that?
They get along. And they're not hating each other. And no one's trying to murder
This is
anyone.
America. No one's trying to murder anyone.
You can go on and on about your systemic racism. You can go on and on about things that you perceive as having hurt your feelings. But you know what? I'd rather have hurt feelings any day of the week and allow my daughter to grow up in a society where she can interact with and be exposed to a normal life.
A normal life.
Where her fucking race is not the most important thing about her. We're making friends with people because they are your friends.
You're making friends with people because they are your friends. How do you make friends like with people that are already your friends? Like that's like my friend, right? I'm making friends with him because he's my friend. Let it sink in, man.
Is what's important. This, America and other developed countries have it right. And you fucking spoiled, arrogant pricks who grew up in this kind of situation, in this kind of country, who go around trying to tell me that America is racist.
America is racist. You heard what he said, right? Listen to how he fucks up.
You guys can go fuck yourselves. Okay.
No, you could go fuck yourself.
Okay? I'm sorry to be so blunt.
You could go fuck yourself with the biggest dildo ever created. And when you finish fucking yourself with it, you can stuff that shit in your mouth and down your fucking throat and choke on it. Fucking clown.
And, you know, I understand that there are issues that need to be addressed. I do understand that. Sorry, get back to this crap in the background. I understand that, but you also have to understand that it's nothing in comparison to real racism.
Real
in comparison
racism.
to real bullshit that your average South African has to put up with. That anyone who's not Chinese who moves to China has to put up with. You know? I just had to put that out there because racism sucks and it's bad in all.
And that's where you fucked up. Got him. You know you done fucked up now, right? You know you done fucked up. Let me show you where he fucked up at. Well, y'all see where he fucked up. He didn't use his adjective this time. Because he knows racism is racism. Period. There's no real racism. There's no fake racism. There's only racism. You see what I'm saying? So for him to be talking the shit that he's talking, he's out of order. He needs to get slapped and kicked wherever someone sees him. Because whatever he's doing right now, he has an agenda. And it's not for what he's claiming. You see what I'm saying? This is propaganda video. This is something to big up his white people. This is something to display Africans savagely and how he had to pick up and and leave, because if he didn't, he would be either killed or something like that, right? And that's real racism, not a person who's in those same kind of similar conditions where motherfuckers is like savages, and they're coming to get them. They're burning crosses in front of their fucking houses and shit like that. They want to leave, but you know what? They can't, because they're surrounded by a whole mob of them. And all this mob want to do is shoot, kill, stab, hang, lynch. They want to do all of this fucking shit. And that's not race. That's not what he called. That's not real racism. What he is witnessing and going through, that's real racism. Let me tell y'all something. Don't put real next to the word racism. There's no such thing. Because racism is real. You see what I'm saying? Racism is real. There's no fake racism. There's no real racism. There's only racism. Because racism is real.
Forms, but you do not understand what it is unless you have actually experienced the real thing. And this kind of shit that
The real
first world is
thing. This
complaining
nigga's
about all
full
the
of
time
shit.
really boils
Yeah,
my...
I just gotta say that this dude is full of shit. He's full of shit. A motherfucker like me sees right through him, and he knows it. He knows it. Right now, he's probably wondering, who the fuck am I? Who is this fucking guy? Who is this dude? You don't need... Let me tell you something. I'm an American. I was raised in Corona, Queens, New York. I developed skills, hobbies, interest in the planet. I put myself out there in society and witnessed a lot of shit. And came back to myself so that I could become part of society as far as helping with its progression, upliftment, development into a better place for me and mine and yours. Truly. Let's get back to this meatball.
my blood because it's petty and garbage. Anyway, it's time for me to answer some questions, guys.
We don't wanna go.
worked
He's
up here, I'm
gonna
afraid, and,
start going into some bullshit now about, I guess his followers, people who follow him, and Jerry, you are so right. I don't know if his name is Jerry, but I'm saying Jerry because a lot of white people's names is Jerry. Like Jerry Springer. Anyway, this dude is part of some type of plan to put out there that it's not America, or in fact even white people who are racist. That it is black people, Africans, Africa, South Africa, who are really racist. This is his agenda. Fuck his daughter and all of that shit. All of that bullshit explanation didn't explain anything. Seriously. All he did was made a fool out of himself and his daughter. That's why I guess he blurred her too as well. so people don't see how he made a fool out of her. Oh man, like I said, this is my first time doing this. I wanted to bring this to y'all because, like I said, this has everything to do with these motherfuckers' woke agenda. Not only are they trying to say that things don't exist, but they're trying to say that they exist on another side. That they don't exist here. And everybody knows, man, the history of this country. The scheming, the plotting, the poisoning of people, indigenous people. The fighting, the warring, the slaughtering, the genocide, the slavery, the abuse, the hard labor, the free labor, the lynching, the hanging, the burning, the whipping, the raping. Seriously? Us what? He went he with what?
My child, who is a mixed child, can play with children of all different races, and the parents sitting around there are of all different races.
Yeah, like I said, and they
And they
could
get
all, and a
along.
gunman could walk up in there right
And they're
now
not
and kill them
hating each
all.
other. And no one's trying to murder anyone. Okay?
A gunman could come in
You
there
can
right
go
now
on
and want to
on
murder
about your
y'all.
systemic racism. You can go on and on about things that you perceive as having hurt your feelings. But you know what? I'd rather have hurt feelings any day of the week and allow my daughter to grow up in a society where she can interact with and be exposed to a normal life, where her fucking race is not the most important thing about her. We're making friends with people because they are your friends is what's important.
Bullshit explanation. Listen to this.
America
This
and
fool.
other developed countries have it right.
Huh?
And you fucking spoiled,
We're
arrogant
fucking
pricks who grew
spoiled,
up in this kind
arrogant
of
pricks.
situation, in this kind of country, who go around trying to
This is the country we live up in. Look at his kids.
America
This is what he's
racist.
saying. This is what he's saying. This is the country we're growing up in. You hear? You hear?
You guys can go fuck yourselves.
And we could go fuck ourselves.
I'm sorry to be so blunt.
You know?
And, you know, I understand that there are issues that need to be addressed.
He said
I
he
do
understands
understand
that this is that need to be addressed.
Sorry, get back to this crap in the background. I understand that, but you also have to understand that it's nothing in comparison to real racism.
He said that's
in comparison
nothing.
to real
All that shit I was talking
that
about.
The average South African.
All that shit I was talking about is nothing compared to this shit that he's talking about. Y'all leave some comments. Go in, man. Like, seriously, go in. Talk about this shit that he's talking about. I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now, I already see what he's establishing, or what he's trying to establish. Let me know if you think I'm right, man, or you know, or let me know if you think I'm missing something, or if I'm wrong. You know, hey, listen. You know, as long as you know you're not getting on there and being disrespectful to me, hey, it's all love. You know what I'm saying? I take constructive criticism, or I take criticism constructively. Okay, so you know, thanks for watching, and you know, I'm not with all of that. Hit this and hit that, and tune in. You know, whatever I put out, I put out. If you happen to run into it and you like it, hey man, leave a comment, leave a like, man. You know what I'm saying? Till the next time.